I am speaking as a great man who is the conqueror of the British Empire. I said I uprooted the British imperialism from Uganda, and Uganda is now pure Africa.
Was Iddi Amin a liberator or a dictator? Western narratives often depict African leaders advocating for self-reliance and cultural promotion as authoritarian and tyrannical. Complex issues are often oversimplified or twisted, focusing on personal attacks rather than policies. Such narratives undermine the legitimacy of Pan-African movements aimed at rejecting colonial influence and neocolonialism. President Field Marshal Iddi Amin was one among many African liberators branded as a dictator. But let's look closely at some of his achievements and policies during his rule. Upon seizing power in January 1971 through a military coup, Amin promised to end Uganda's colonial legacy and promote African sovereignty. He frequently emphasized his commitment to eradicating remnants of colonial influence, which resonated with many Ugandans who had long sought true independence from European powers. His actions aimed at reclaiming national pride and autonomy. As a tack to protect themselves, colonial Britain brought Indians to the Uganda Protectorate around 1890. The colonialists claimed that Indians were to serve as a buffer between Europeans and Africans in the middle rungs of commerce and administration. In August 1972, Amin's government issued a controversial order expelling 50,000 Asians, primarily Indian, from Uganda. While the expulsion had severe economic repercussions, the move was intended to address economic imbalances and empower Ugandan nationals. Iddi Amin government invested in several infrastructure projects, including road construction and educational reforms. Amin tasked a commission to review education and come up with policies aimed at making education accessible to more Ugandan nationals, as well as eliminating the colonial educational model. Under Amin's leadership, there were efforts to improve Uganda's healthcare system. The government invested in expanding medical facilities and services, aiming to provide better healthcare to the population. New hospitals and clinics were established, and there was an emphasis on increasing access to medical care, particularly in rural areas. Amin made deliberate efforts to promote African culture and pride. He emphasized the importance of African traditions and heritage in national policies, encouraging the celebration of Ugandan culture and customs. This cultural promotion was part of his broader agenda to affirm African identity and reject colonial influences. Iddi Amin's legacy remains deeply controversial, often overshadowed by Western portrayal as a dictator. However, a closer examination reveals that his actions and policies were geared towards liberation of Uganda and African from imperial and tyrannical chains.